Hey there, fellow travelers. Welcome back to another episode of Connecting Over Coffee. And today is a very special episode. We are filming outside in the Irish Memorial here in downtown Manhattan. And I also have my good friend, fellow traveler and designer, Janice Ventura.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about Ireland, so I hope y'all are ready. What was the first stamp in your passport?
Spain. I went to Spain to visit a girlfriend.
Marilyn,
you know.
you went to see Marilyn, our friend Marilyn. Awesome.
High school friend. I feel like the best friends are those with like far away places, right? Like the places to stay
so you can
at.
go visit them.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So you live in LA. I'll be visiting you soon. But yeah, so that was my first stamp. It was, I want to say, about 11 years ago. And since then, I've just, traveled every year or so since then.
Sweet. How many countries would you say you've been to since then?
I want to say 6. So, or maybe more. Spain, Portugal, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Ireland.
Oh, yes. Very important one not to miss.
Jamaica. Yeah. That's about it.
Okay. Awesome.
So far, anyways.
You can see it's like all windy here.
Yeah,
Like we're just like blowing in the wind. So forgive the audio if there's any complications. So what would you say is the most beautiful place you've seen?
Definitely Ireland. That sounds so cliche because we're talking about Ireland today,
Mm-hmm.
but first and foremost, Ireland. I was mostly in the city, but when we got the chance to go out into the countryside, it was the greenest green you've ever seen. And it stretches as far as the eye can see. And it was just glorious. It was glorious being there. The air was clearly fresh. The people were very nice. It was definitely beautiful overall.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, we are going to move on to Ireland now.
Ooh. My favorite topic.
Okay. So when you prepared to go to Ireland, how did you go about preparing for it? Yeah.
I went to my local bookstore and got a book.
Like a guidebook?
Like a guidebook. And started kind of mapping out areas that I wanted to see. I was going with my husband. I knew he was particular. That was a weird noise. So I basically highlighted a bunch of places, kind of mapped it out, and then started searching for flights. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then I started shopping on Amazon for all the stuff I wanted to buy for traveling.
Like what kind of stuff?
Except for the plane mostly, because my husband's like a really anxious flyer. But
Okay.
but also like rain gear. Not that it's typically totally rainy there, but there is chance of rain. So like a rain jacket I purchased, a collapsible umbrella. I think I even splurged on a new bag.
I mean, if you're going to travel,
why not?
Travel in style. Okay. How long were you there for?
5 short days.
Okay.
5 very short days. And I wish it was
They
longer.
went quickly.
It just sped by, but they were 5 magical days, and I just really enjoyed it.
Sweet. Okay. What their currency is the British pound?
No, it's the euro.
Is it?
It is.
Shut the front
Yep.
door. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's the euro.
But they're part of the United Kingdom.
They are, but we managed to get euros. I didn't even think about going there for some reason. I don't know why currency. Normally, currency is like the first thing on my mind, but I read somewhere that it was a non-issue, and yeah.
Okay. So what was your process for like doing the exchange? Did you exchange it there or
At the airport? Yeah.
at the airport?
At the airport there, because again, I read it was such a simple process, and I didn't want to like go through the process of getting them stateside.
Yeah.
Because you have to wait like 3 days or whatever. They have to order it.
What?
Yeah.
Because through
it's
the
like
bank, right?
It goes through the bank. It's like a long process. At the airport, it was no more than an hour, I should say. And then we were on our way. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, you need to like be able to hit the ground running.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Especially if you're there for 5 days.
Yes. Time is like super precious.
Time is money in this case.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. What were your thoughts and your feelings going into it? Like when you like booked that ticket and you were like, I'm going to Ireland, like what were your thoughts?
Excitement for sure. I mean, traveling anywhere is exciting. And a lot of unknowns. I did a lot of research too before then. The guidebooks only tell you so much. So I was reading about the people and the culture and safety. Safety's big.
Very important.
And so part of me was a little nervous because I heard that Dublin specifically has a bunch of pickpockets.
Okay.
But being kind of a New Yorker, you're kind of not immune to that, but you just kind of know.
For it.
There's a sixth sense.
Yeah. So when you were in Dublin, because that's where you went off to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I spent the majority of the time.
Okay. How did you get around the city?
Walking. It's so walking friendly.
Is it like super flat?
It's super flat.
Okay.
The streets or the sidewalks rather are smaller than what we're used to here in New York, but very walkable. There's also Dublin has its own version of Uber.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting, and they're really inexpensive.
Do you remember what it was called, or? Yeah.
I don't. It was like Dublin Taxi or something. It was something like very straightforward. But they also have buses too, and they have the rails, which we didn't take. But the buses were super, like Dublin has a great transit network. So if you can't get there by walking because there's a little bit of rain, you could always either call a regular Uber, a Dublin Uber, or you can take the bus.
Okay, so I'll have to I'll look into that Dublin Uber and see if we can link it below.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was amazing. And before you get there, or actually, you can either do it two ways. So buses don't take cash. You have to have something called the Leap card.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a refillable transit card. You can either get it at the local grocery store, or you can buy it online beforehand and they'll mail it to you.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. I mean, how did you get yours?
I went to the grocery store.
Okay.
So I read about it, but I read about it like a month before my trip, and I thought it was too late to order one, and by the time it gets mailed. So luckily, when we were collecting groceries, we saw that the vendor said, we sell the Leap card here. They sell them everywhere, it seems. And so we were able to buy it. The guy had recommended we put like 20 euros on it, but I knew it was so cheap going in that I put like 10, and we had left over after the trip. Like, it was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It was like $1 a ride or something silly. Yeah.
Actually, since I've never been to Dublin, how did you find navigating the streets to be easy or hard or?
Really easy.
Yeah.
Like scary easy. Like I felt like a native in a weird way. And especially after 2 or 3 days there, you really know where you're going. Dublin is so small and just so accessible that 2 days you kind of know where you're going.
Gotcha.
And luckily we were our place was just right. It was a 15-minute walk from city center, and it was just a dead straight walk. So it was like you couldn't get lost.
Easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Was Dublin the only place you went to? Or did you visit like other towns or other cities in Ireland?
We went to another county called Meath County. We booked it through a tour, only because we just don't like driving on the other side of the road. I don't know how to do it. My husband doesn't know how to do it. It just seemed a little too dangerous. So we booked a tour that took us out into the country, and that's where I saw the most green, which is Meath County.
So definitely go out to the countryside, basically.
For sure.
Because you need to see that green.
Yeah, Dublin is cool, but not green. Dublin's not green, aside from the trinket shops, which, you have like the green everything, green Irish stuff. But, the countryside, Meath County specifically, was amazing. There was a lot of ancient ruins and such. We took a spiritual tour of Ireland.
Nice.
Which kind of took us through some of the old ancient sites, old castles.
How'd you find that?
Exciting.
Exciting how?
Exciting.
How is exciting?
Well, specifically, so the tour guide apparently was related to one of the actors in my all-time favorite film, Braveheart.
Ooh.
His brother was in the movie, played the dad.
That's awesome.
So cool. We didn't know about this until we were like in one of the castles, and he's like, "Oh, this is where we filmed Braveheart," and my brother was in the movie. And I'm like, "Get out! Who's your brother?"
Yeah,
that's
I
my
want to
favorite
see
movie.
Wait. So I have to ask this. So did you go home and like watch the movie and try to?
Oh yeah, of course. Try to pick out the scenes. Oh, totally. Yeah, and I found it. That was the hilarious part.
Oh my gosh.
So I have pictures of that, but so cool. And I was able to pinpoint the scene. I was telling my husband and acting all geeky and excited about it. And he's there like, yeah, it's just a bunch of rocks. I'm like, no, you don't get it, dude. You don't get it. The actors were here. But so we got to see Trim Castle, which one of the parts of the movie was filmed there. And Hill of Tara, which is kind of like the spiritual area. It's like a park now, I guess. Mm-hmm. But ancient history says that that was the area where kings were crowned, the ancient kings. So this is before Christianity. That's it. Before
I
Christianity.
think so, yeah. It seems that would make sense because they have like the Gaelic and the paganism and they're
right.
Like,
and it's like really intertwined in Ireland.
Celtic.
Like,
I didn't mean Gaelic.
Celtic, you're right.
Gaelic is the language. Celtic is the. That's what I meant.
You're right,
Yeah.
Celtic. And like the locals, like, I mean, you hear of Irish mysticism, but the locals really, really believe it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what your beliefs are, but they were really into it. Our tour guide just told the most amazing spiritual stories, and he was just an encyclopedia. Like, it was just entertaining being on that tour.
What do you remember the name of the tour or?
I remember the name of the company, which just escaped me at the moment.
Of course, because I asked it. It
It was like Spiritual Irish Tours. I mean, I can give you the link. I could look it up and give you the link.
Okay, awesome.
But Sean Lawler was the tour guide and proprietor of the company, and he was just amazing. Like, I would so book another tour with him in a heartbeat. But yeah, Hill of Tara was definitely amazing too, because that was like where we saw definitely the most green, right? And that was a hill on top of the hill, you know. There was
so it's just like rolling hills.
it's just rolling hills, and it goes back to like way back when, where those hills were like 8 foot tall, you know, deep
it's so
concave
windy.
circles.
Sorry.
It is windy.
No, I can see the camera like moving.
Oh no, that's not good. The camera
like,
falls. We could do it sideways.
Yeah. Like, hello.
Hi. But yeah, so it was just really cool. Like, I would definitely go back there again just for that experience alone.
Yeah. How did you get to Meath County from Dublin?
We drove. I can't tell you the exact path because I was too petrified at the left turns that we were taking.
Okay.
It just seemed like you're going into oncoming traffic. But the tour guide picked us up at one of the hotel meeting points,
Okay.
and then he just took us off.
So like it was like a coach type of thing?
Yeah,
or?
it was kind of a coach. You know, they had the audio, so he was kind of doing his tour thing along the way.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
we were there in like 45 minutes to an hour, and the whole tour took all day. So if we got on the bus at 8, we didn't get back till like 5.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So like prepare like
Oh yeah.
a lot of the whole
prepare.
day for that.
Oh yeah, and come prepared with. So actually, I brought my hiking boots because they were like waterproof, and they were the perfect shoe wear. Like, sneakers would totally get soaked if it rains, and it rains often in Ireland, or at least it sprinkles. And a rain jacket, and at least a sweater. Layers are really big there because when the sun's out, it's warm, and when it's behind a cloud, it's cold. So
Yeah. That sounds a lot like LA.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were staying in Dublin,
Mhm.
what kind of accommodations did you have?
So we did an Airbnb apartment.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was a 15-minute walk, literally straight walk to City Center.
Mhm.
City Center is where all the action is, like Temple Bar and just all the touristy things in Dublin. And the place that we stayed at was where the area is called Ballsbridge.
Okay.
Odd name, but odd name. A waiter there had asked us, "Where are you staying?" I'm like, Ballsbridge.
It's where the balls are.
And he's like, "Oh, that area is very posh," and he was totally dead serious
Oh my
about it.
gosh.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, I guess."
I wonder what the origins are for that. Like,
I have
do
no.
people just like throw balls over that bridge? It's like, that's what it is. This is Balls Bridge.
Maybe, you know, there was a tiny, I wouldn't call it a bridge, but there was a tiny bridge over a tiny canal. I don't know, before
Okay.
getting to the area. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay. Do you remember how much the Airbnb was?
Yes, because it was such a steal. It was 65 euro a day.
Okay.
And it was an apartment, so we sprung for an apartment, but with a lot of European quirks to it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my god!
What were the quirks that you found?
So you can't operate the stove until you press a master switch.
Oh, that's right. That's a very UK thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I like because it conserves energy, because you still pull energy technically
Mhm.
if you're plugged in like that. Oh, the heating in the shower. Oh my goodness, I still haven't figured it out.
What?
So you have to also. So I only knew this from being in Spain, that the shower itself has a heater.
Mhm.
The location is not exactly in your face. So before my husband hopped in, I'm like, hang on a second, that looks like there's a heater on the wall. We need to figure out the master switch for that. So we're there like looking for buttons. It turned out to be not a button, but a pull, like a light switch pull thing.
Yeah.
So that turns on. Of course, there's no instructions to this apartment at all. But then the trickier part was, my husband had a great shower. He's like, oh, it was fantastic. It was nice and warm. I'm like, great, cool. I go in. I turn the dials to medium.
Mm-hmm.
Burning, boiling hot. I shut it off. I'm trying now to soap myself up, figure out the right temperature. There is no right temperature. It's just really boiling hot or super cold.
And so for him, it was perfect?
For him, it was perfect.
Okay.
So I had to flip the switch on to boiling hot. As soon as it starts getting hot, shut it off.
Okay.
So it was like every 5 to 10 seconds, I would turn it on, shut it off, turn it on, shut it off throughout the whole shower.
Wow.
So that was my least favorite experience, but a very interesting one. Very interesting.
I mean, it makes for good stories.
It does, yeah. I burned my ass in the shower a few times before I learned, and I learned quick.
Oh my gosh.
It's definitely like a social experiment.
Oh, yes. Actually, the food. Did you get to try some local, like, cuisine?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes. So the local cuisine wasn't that great.
Oh, no.
The touristy cuisine was really good.
What was a touristy cuisine?
Just all the places that attract
like McDonald's
tourists.
Or something?
No.
That's because that's what I think of.
Oh God, no! Oh, if I went to Ireland to have McDonald's, like, shoot me. Actually, let me backtrack. I was thinking of one place in particular where the food wasn't great. Don't go to any place in Ireland where it's a carving station. The meat is tough, dry, and so terrible.
Okay.
But there was a great place, actually. It was a fish and chips place. It's like world famous too, called Leo Burdock. I think it's Leo Burdock. Yeah, it's world famous. I mean, they have a big wall of like famous people who've eaten here, and it's amazing. For like €9, you get a cod like yay big with French fries of equal size, like huge. So we thought these were going to be smaller portions. We ordered 2.
Oh my god!
Me and my husband. So he had the red cod, I had the white, and sure enough, we had these big platters of food, and we're like trekking through Dublin with all this food, kind of like, all right, because it's not like a sit down and eat place. It's like a to go place.
Gotcha.
So you're just like eating hot
fish, your fish and chips on the road.
On the road, it was great.
Wow.
That was definitely my best dining experience. The other place that was really good, maybe it's local, but I thought because it's in the touristy area, is a place called the Duke, which we went a few times and just had. I want to say like it was Irish, but like gourmet food.
Yeah.
So like there was like prawns and like sauces, and there was like, what do you call that when they blend different cultures together in food?
Like fusions or
fusions.
Something.
There we go. It was like a fusion. So it was like Irish fusion. So that was really cool too. But the carving place, avoid at all costs.
Okay.
Don't do it.
No carving place.
Dry food.
I know you mentioned that you were worried about pickpockets and you thought that maybe that your husband would have been pickpocketed.
Mm-hmm.
But did you feel safe overall?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's definitely akin to any like large city. You want to be careful and be like cognizant of your belongings. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there was at no time, and we walked, I want to say all hours of the night, there was no time where we felt unsafe, even when there was like nobody on the street.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was really good.
That's good. I mean, you just never know sometimes with places, so it's always good to ask.
Yeah, we never got a creepy vibe at all, actually. The pickpocket thing, all right, but one potential incident, if it was an incident. But otherwise, and I think we lucked out too because the sun stays up till like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night.
Wow.
So,
wait, what time of the year did you go?
We went July, August?
Oh,
July.
okay. I guess that makes sense because the Earth is tilted. But
well,
wow,
I didn't know that going
that's
there.
Like almost like a midnight sun, though.
Yeah, it was so wild. So we didn't know that, and our bedroom had a skylight. So we're trying to go to bed at 10 o'clock at night to be fresh for the next day. It wasn't every night, but it was almost impossible to sleep. But it was kind of one of the charming quirks about it.
So another quirk.
Another quirk, the sunlight. So and the sun rises like at 4:15 in the morning. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was definitely like you were up and at 'em by 7, which was good because you're only there for 5 days, or we were only there for 5 days.
Take advantage while you
wanted to go. The other interesting thing is that, unlike a city that never sleeps like New York, the stores and everything close like at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's good to know.
Pubs not so much.
I mean, I should hope not.
Pubs not so much, but any shopping, like get it done before 8 o'clock because everything does close.
Okay. All right. Well, what would you say is one thing that a new visitor, person like me who's never been to Dublin or Ireland in general, should eat, see, and do?
Eat, see, and do. Eat. So Leo Burdock, definitely, if you like cod or fish. I personally do, so it's really good. If not, the Duke has really great food. Trinity Hotel, actually, I didn't mention this before, but they have pretty decent food. Again, they're kind of touristy geared, but they're pretty good. C, Meath County, for sure. Hill of Tara, absolutely. Preferably with a tour guide, honestly, because you'll go there and not really know the history. But if you have someone that knows, it just makes a world of difference. And a touristy thing to do that we really loved was the Jameson tour.
Oh.
I won't recommend Guinness because I did not like that tour whatsoever. But the Jameson tour was so cool.
Why was it cool though?
It was interactive.
Okay.
So they'd bring you into a room with a bunch of people and you're sitting around, it's a round circle, and their interactive video was kind of 3D-ish. Mm-hmm. Everything was just very almost tactile. And then they lure you into another room where it was kind of set up like a lab, and you got to feel the hops and sniff and you had your own individual tables. So, and then it was kind of a cross between a tactile experience and a TED Talk.
Oh, okay.
So it was really entertaining. And while you're at these science stations, the host is walking from left to right, and behind her the wall's illuminating as she walks by, and she's pointing out different items, and it was really cool. And then at the very end, the best part, you're brought into a tasting room, and I mean, it was just gorgeous presentation and just beautiful. And they go through each one of the samplings, and they talk about the flavors and the characteristics. I don't drink a ton, but I do like knowing that deeper aspect of what I'm eating or drinking. So that is highly recommended.
Does that mean that you didn't try all of them?
I sure did. I sure did. They had an American whiskey, they had a Scottish whiskey, and then they had Jameson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you get to meet any locals while you were, besides the tour guides, did you get to meet any other locals? Or was that hard to do?
It was hard because it is mostly a touristy city.
Okay.
We really chatted up, actually my husband did because he's really the chatterbox, but we chatted up some of the waiters.
Okay.
And actually got a sense of kind of their political issues.
Oh,
there.
Interesting.
Yeah, very political. At least the waiters we spoke to were reading the paper, and my husband, as you know, or might not know, he's a history buff. So of course,
after my own heart.
Oh, of course he brings up politics, and I'm there shush, shushy, you don't talk about that. But these waiters were more than happy to, and they were very passionate about it too.
No. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next thing I have, which is a lightning round questions.
Cool.
So literally, you just have to answer them. First thing that comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
Don't think about it.
Okay, well, I'll try. I think about everything, so this is going to be really hard.
Oh, well, All right. Dublin or Pontevedra?
Oh, cruel. Dublin, because I was able to get around easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I guess.
Yeah. Even though, God, that was a tough
Sorry,
one.
Marilyn.
Yeah, that part of Spain is gorgeous too, but Dublin, yeah.
Okay. Cruises or flights?
Flights.
Okay.
Easily.
Spanish or Italian cuisine?
Italian cuisine. Spanish, for sure.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Hands down, that's your final answer?
Yeah, totally.
Book or a movie?
Book.
Map or Google Maps?
Map.
Traveling.
Google Maps leads me the wrong way.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Every time I'm driving, I'm so mad at it. I mean, yeah, anyway. Yeah.
I have no idea.
It totally does. It fucks with me.
It's left turn at here.
Yeah, no, it lies to me all the time. I mean, if I could drive and read a paper map, I know we were able to do it 20 years ago, but humanity has since lost that skill.
Okay, traveling alone or with friends?
I haven't traveled with friends so much. My husband is an extension of me, I feel, or I'm an extension of him. So travel alone for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Softy or gelato?
This shouldn't be hard, but it is. Mr.
I know,
Softy.
because it's the hardcore New Yorkers in us.
You grew up with it.
Yeah, I grew up Mr. Softy, that chime, that ring.
Gelato's made with pure cream.
I
think Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy vanilla.
Dry or sweet wine?
Sweet.
Window seat or aisle?
Depends. Long flight, aisle.
Okay.
Short flight, window.
Okay. Cappuccino or latte?
Latte.
Globetrotter or world traveler?
World traveler. Yeah, that sounds way better.
You'd be surprised. I've gotten mixed.
Globetrotter, really?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
people are like, you could be either one.
Traveler just sounds like world traveler.
Yeah, like we doing this.
Yeah. Globetrotter sounds. Globetrotting.
I mean, yeah, it sounds happier in a way.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
one
happy.
sounds like you're sort of on a mission, and the other one's like, we're just prancing along.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Museum or street art?
Museum. I'm a
Okay.
museum person.
And then final question. Van Gogh or Picasso?
Van Gogh. Yeah. Van Gogh, for sure.
I have not admitted this yet in the interviews so far, but I'm totally Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Van Gogh lover.
Yeah, there's Parisian cafes and Starry Night and
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Picasso actually.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for today.
This was fun.
Yes, thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking the time out to answer my questions, which hopefully are some of our viewers' questions as well. Yeah, so thank you so much. I don't know, do you want to give information about where people might follow you? Do you want them to follow you?
No, that's all right.
Like, don't follow me.
You know, that
I
whole
don't
travel
need to
alone
know.
thing.
I don't need friends. We're good. All right, until next time, I'll see you guys later. And as always, stay safe and stay traveling. Hey, fellow travelers. I hope you liked that video. If there is a place or a city or a country you would like to know more about or you're thinking about visiting, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, really, truly, check out our other videos. I think you might like them. And also, ring the bell because we release a podcast every other Monday, and then we'll be releasing some extra special content in between each podcast for you. Travel tips, travel advice, inspirational videos. We got lots of stuff. And we want you to be aware. We want you to be like the first to know. So definitely ring that bell and then hit the subscribe button. Seriously, because we're awesome and you're gonna love this channel so much. So I'm gonna wait until you hit that subscribe button. Did you hit the subscribe button?